All right, thank you for coming back to my channel so we can get head on into these soap opera reviews. We're going to be going over the one that aired on March 2nd, Young and the Restless. It was very interesting today, guys, and we got a chance to see Murphy. Woo, I love that old white man. He's so rugged, but yet soft-hearted, but like mountaineering, if you can get my picture. Anyway, we move on. We have Jill is asking Esther. This was found in the mailbox with the regular mail. Esther saying yes. Jill still hasn't opened the letter yet. And Esther is almost like want to eject the letter out of her hand and open it herself. But we all know if she do that, Jill probably clock her. But anyway, we go to Colin. Colin is meeting with the appraisal guy um, and wanting to know the price that someone is willing to pay for that beautiful green emerald ring, and he knows it's worth a lot. Billy shows up to see Colin and the gentleman talking, and he rudely interrupts the two men, and Colin is pledging to get Jill back, and to get her money back. And then the appraisal guy, he just going about his business. Then Chloe is at Chelsea's home, making herself at home while Chelsea gets ready for her date with Nick, her third date. Nicholas is over, dropping off Christian to his mom, Nikki, to babysit for him while he goes on a date with Chelsea. Little do they know, little Faith is in the corner listening to it all. Uh, and taking in what she wants to take in. Go to commercial, we come back. We have Chloe wants Chelsea to wear sweats. She says your first date was supposed to be dressed up and him seeing how you can look. Your second date's supposed to be in sweats. Chelsea says she's trying to get Chloe to help her pick out jewelry for her dress that she's trying to wear on her date. Chelsea is nervous and anxious. She goes to change her dress. Okay? Then we go to Nicholas. Nicholas and Nikki are still making small talk while Faith is listening on in the background. Nicholas likes and loves Chelsea. Nicholas says Faith should be okay with everything because she wanted it from the beginning. Then we have Billy. Billy is still getting on Colin's nerves, and he's telling Colin to leave his mother alone. We go to Jill. Jill is still anxious and nervous about the letter. Esther's asking should she call Murphy to see if he dropped off the letter. And of course, Jill saying no. Jill finally opens the letter after dismissing Esther. Esther is gone doing something, I don't know what. And she goes on to read it, and it tells her it will lead her to what's rightfully hers, meaning the emerald ring that Philip had wanted her to have probably to him getting killed. They never got married, and he had bought her this beautiful emerald ring, and it just never got found. And Catherine, through all her years of knowing Jill and living with Jill, she never gave it to her out of pridefulness and spite. But Colin done got a hold of the ring, and he's trying to pawn it. Oh my Lord, Colin is a pure jerk. He should have not given. He should have just given Jill the ring along with the note and let her decide what she wanted to do with it. At least he would have been scot free. You know what I'm saying? So we go to commercial, come back. We have Faith comes out from her hiding place and sees Christian, and she starts to make small talk with Nikki. She wants to see pictures of her when she was a little person. And look like the pictures they were showing us when them were like maybe 2 or 3 years old than what she is now. She asked about her grandfather, and Nikki says no, it's just her, and well, it's just them and Christian, pretty much. Then we have Nicholas comes over to pick up Chelsea and finds Chloe there. And of course, Chloe is giving him the 411 and this, that, and the third. And she tells Nicholas she's rooting for them both. And she leaves, and Nikki sees Chelsea on the top of the step waiting to come down for their date. Then we have Jill reads on through the letter, and Catherine admits to Jill that her husband loved her, meaning Jill, and not her, meaning Catherine, anymore. Go to commercial, come back. We have Nikki is looking at pictures of her and Faith. Faith is telling Nikki to go upstairs and have a long nap. She would be fine by herself because, Nikki was yawning while she was looking at the pictures and she didn't notice how tired she was, but it is catching up with her. And she said, well, okay, I'll take your advice, but are you sure you'll be okay while I sleep? And she said, okay, I'm sure. I'll make myself, I can keep myself company. I have plenty to do. Like she's some kind of little grown person. You know what I'm saying? So Nicholas hasn't been taking any, Nicholas has taken Chelsea to the athletic club for their dinner, and they are making small talk with one another and hanging out at the bar until I guess a seat becomes available. Then we have Jill is still reading the letter, and they're showing us old clips of Philip and Catherine talking about their divorce and this, that, and the third. Ooh, I tell you, them pictures back in the 70s, they was something. Okay, then we go to commercial, we come back, we have Chelsea and Nicholas are on their third date and they're sitting at the table finally. Nicholas is telling Chelsea he's really into her when he gets a phone call from none other than who else? Guess it, Faith. Faith is lying to him about something's wrong with Grandmama. Grandmama just went and took a nap, but Faith just been a total ass. Anyway, we go from that situation, we go to Billy. Billy is running to Chloe and Bella at Crimson Lights, and they are making small talk with one another. Uh, they start to get into conversations about the kids, Johnny, how he's doing, and then they go in. Billy starts telling uh Chloe about Jill. And I'm like, first of all, I thought it was supposed to be a secret, Billy. You telling everybody, in and everybody that will listen to you, so it's not a secret anymore, huh? Then we'll go back to Jill. Jill is still reading the letter from Catherine, and she's referencing the ring which Colin stole and just left the letter. But of course, Jill is like, what? I only have the letter. What is she talking about? You know. Then we go to commercial. We come back. We have small talk still going on with Billy and Chloe. Then we have Nick finally arrives home to find everything okay with his mother and everyone. And Nikki and Nick really figured out why Faith made the false phone call. But anyway, Nikki decides that she's going to talk with her while Nicholas can go on and retrieve his date that was kind of lost because of Faith. And he goes on to tell his mama thank you. He's going to go back and see her. And then we go to Jill. She's still reading a letter, and she goes to the staircase to where Catherine took her last step up the stairs, and she went to sleep. I think she died upstairs in her bedroom. That's what I'm thinking. She went to sleep she went to sleep and didn't wake up. That's what I'm thinking. And I think Jill dropped the letter or something, and she just goes into a real bad spell of crying and stuff because how she called her the old bat finally admitted that Philip, which was Miss Chancellor's husband, really was in love with Jill and wanted to leave Miss Chancellor or Catherine for Jill. But they had showed us a clip where Catherine called herself drunk and got Philip in the car, and I think she was trying to kill them both, but she ended up killing Philip and had to live with that the rest of her life. This is what it is. They give us that little piece of information though. But in the letter that she was writing to Jill that she couldn't admit to her in front of her face after all of those years, and they had gotten close as well. She still held that secret until she knew she was going to die. But she put it in a safe deposit box along with the ring that Philip was going to give Jill as a wedding gift and her wedding ring for them to get married. And of course, it didn't happen because Philip didn't live. He didn't have a chance to marry Jill, and he that was Catherine's way of giving Jill back what was rightfully hers in the beginning. She can't give her Philip because, of course, Philip's dead, and it can't give her the ring because Colin done stole it. So isn't that something, guys? But anyway, moving on from there. We go to commercial, come back. We have Nikki's talking with Faith about her negative actions towards Chelsea and Nicholas relationship that they're trying to get together. Faith just wants her dad and mom back together. But she told Faith sometimes things don't end up the way you want them to be, but it's gonna be okay. But she did tell her don't do that shit no more. Okay, and I was glad Nikki told her that. She didn't tell her the shit part, but you know where we're going with it. Then we have Chelsea pays the babysitter for watching Connor, and she closed the door shortly after Nicholas shows back up at her doorstep. And of course, she invites him in, and then they get on into their somewhat fourth date. Oh, then we go to Billy. Billy date has stood him up, and he tells Chloe that he's gonna go because who he was waiting on to, I guess, be with. They couldn't make it, so whew, so yeah, he's getting up to leave, and they start talking about you know Billy starts telling her about Colin. Colin was the main factor in his mother having her heart attack, but Jill did have heart disease, coming up to that big spat that Colin pretty much had took her over with taking all her money. Then we have Colin has gotten the ring sold, and the appraiser had bought him a check and all that, so he's on easy street. But again, he's just a jerk because he's still taking stuff that's not his, and it's just not right. Then we have Esther has called Murphy, and Murphy has come over, and he's there to tell her about everything. Catherine left her besides what Catherine had left us besides the letter. He starts telling her about a key that goes to a safety box that should have had that letter in there, that ring in there. And Jill is asking what key, what are you talking about, Murphy? So that's gonna be very interesting to see the next episode. Or when they pretty much play this episode back. It's going to be interesting. And one person she can probably think of who would want that money or who would sell the ring would be probably Colin. So I'm hoping he gets his ass whooped for it and he gets sent back or deported back and not ever entered into the States again, because that's just piss poor judgment of Colin on top of a lot of other things he has done. So that is what it is, because if he brought her the ring, brought her the letter, brought the music box, he could have just exited his way out. And if Jill wanted to go find him, that would have been her choice. But again, he took something from her, and he need to go to AAA, not AAA, but some kind. He just has a habit of taking shit that's not his. So it's an anonymous program out there for him, I'm sure, and he needs to be in it. Okay, y'all, that was the Young and the Restless that aired for March 2nd, Thursday. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and share my videos. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I'll see y'all for next recaps or reviews for the Young and the Restless. Thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 48 World, guys. Bye-bye.